Okay, I just put up the Halo Oracle. Um, Here, let me switch over. This right here is the Halo Oracle. Y'all, basically all this is sort of my version, if that counts, of the EMA to some degree. What it does is it uses pure price, where EMA uses average over time. So they both have their pluses and minuses, but you're just viewing a way of visualizing it. But the true halo, this is off of marker lines. The diamonds show reset points where the prices have crossed, if that makes sense. But I'll show you here in just a moment where you see the diamonds, and I believe those can be turned on and off. I usually do not use custom time on this, but you can if you like. So in other words, let's say if you want to see on the 10 minute and you turn custom on, so it'll show you like what it is on the custom time. You know what I'm talking about, But anyway, like I said, once to reset. Um, what when you first load it, it's going to load like this, but normally what it is let me turn this off and this. The fill is off anyway. Let's turn the bands on. And if you look, you can see these bands right here. Okay. In fact, let me knock the color out on the symbol. Let's do the turn the. This will help. Okay. But you see those bands. Okay, even though it's going up, you see how it's red. What it is, y'all, is I built the Fibonacci levels into the candles. Okay, um, and basically it's following those Fibonacci levels. So if you have a certain side up, you're gonna have the red side up. See what I mean? If, in other words, I won't say I think the price is going up, the red side is up, price is going down, or reverse vice. You get my drift. You know what I mean? In other words, one side is assigned one color and the other side is assigned the other color. It's not. I can't remember. I actually wrote the script a good while back. Um, but what this does is basically what I used it for is whenever I seen a crossing of the lines, I knew that you get my drift. You know what I mean? I knew that we were possibly looking at moving into a new trend. Okay, so that's sort of what I used it for. Like I said, this to me was nothing more than just a different type of my version of a different type of EMA. Okay, so what I did was, like I said, I built fib levels into the candles. You know what I mean? And I basically just assigned a line to those fib levels. And what I did was because of natural candles, that's where the Halo name came from. Okay, natural candles, it was so janky, you know what I mean, messed up, that what I did was I put Halo. That's why you have the HA, because it comes from Heikin-Ashi. So I use Heikin-Ashi calculations to smooth it somewhat. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That way it's not quite so janky. Okay, because with regular candles, you know what I mean, the way price moves, it was just way too. So it's using Heikin-Ashi for smoothing to some degree, and you know what I mean, the I can't remember where the LO come from, y'all. I've had this script quite a while, but you understand what I'm trying to say and what I'm getting at. So when you and keep in mind when you first load this, like if we go to the settings, if I have the marker lines turned off, like I said, when you first load it, it's going to come up like that, okay? But if you turn the marker lines off and the reset diamonds off and you show the bands, that is the core halo, okay? What you can do is you can turn around and let's say you want to see, it can work as a sort of um, cloud, if that makes sense to you. You know what I'm talking about, So in other words, like if we do that right there, you see what I mean. So in other words, I'm on the 5 minute, but I set this to 10, so it acts as a type of trend cloud. If you get me, all right. Yeah, I'm Southern, so you're gonna hear a lot of it. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Know what I'm talking about. Just if it sounds like I got chew in my mouth, get over it. Okay. Um, I got a lot of Southern drawl. I'm heavy duty. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But that's just a couple of different ways this can be used. So, like I said, the way I had it set up originally was I had the marker line set up to show me the trend and the diamonds set up to show me the resets. In other words, when it moves to make a reset happen. Um, but I just wanted to show you other ways you can use it. So, in other words, this to me would act as sort of a trend cloud, but you get the drift. Okay. Um, but yeah, there's play around with it, see what you. But like I said, when I made this isn't something I necessarily use every day. This is something I made just for giggles. I guess you might as well say really. Um, but that I just wanted to do a quick little video just to show y'all sort of how it works, what it does. You know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So, all right, take care. Bye bye.